Welcome to my channel on self-improvement and spirituality in practice. My name is Greicy Hoo. I'm a therapist and I'm here to share my knowledge about how to deal better with yourself, others, and life. It's a lot of work, I know. Today, I'd like to talk about how to avoid disappointment. Delicate subject. Well, let's start with the basics. Okay, so what is a disappointment? It's an effect. And what is the cause of that effect? It's an illusion or an expectation. To be very honest, I don't think it's possible to have zero expectation in life. And even with other people, because when we think about doing something, when we plan something, we always expect the best, not the worst. And that's the same when we meet someone for the first time. It's healthy to expect the best from other people, not the worst, unless you already know something about them, because who has a past has a history. But anyway, supposing you are meeting someone new for the first time online or in real life, it's healthy to expect the best, of course. But it's wiser to stay neutral in the first moment to see what they show. In astrology, there is the ascendant sign. I'm also an astrologer. I started studying astrology more than 30 years ago. So I have something to say about it. Actually, I use the birth chart as a powerful diagnostic tool in therapy. So this way, I already know what to do, how to do, what are the main challenges and lessons someone is here to learn. The person doesn't need to say anything, but that's another thing. In astrology, you have the ascendant sign, which is like a mask that we wear when we go out. The first impression people have about us is our ascendant sign, and that will be affected by any planet in the first house of the birth chart and the aspects
it makes
with other planets. And the sun is who we are in intimacy. So many times you can meet someone and have an impression, and then knowing them better, you have a different impression to the point that you can say,
"Oh, when I first met you, I have a completely different impression, like you were a different person."
That's why, because the sun is how the person is in intimacy, their essence, how they really are. And the ascendant is, like I said, like a mask that we wear to go out. So when you are dealing with someone, people in the first moment have a tendency to play nice because they want to be accepted like it, right? Unless they are so much themselves that they don't even care about, they feel so confident about themselves that they don't feel like proving anything to anyone. They don't play the pleaser. People like that, in my opinion, are more reliable because they are more authentic, spontaneous, right? And that can be seen in the birth chart. Of course, everything is there. The birth chart, if the birth time is correct, it doesn't lie. But people lie. So if the person tells me something and their birth chart tells me another thing, guess who I believe? Yes, birth chart. Anyway, as I said, I don't believe it's possible to have zero expectations. But if you are careful enough, you can manage your mind not to get in that trap of having expectations or illusions. So in life, if you have a plan, if you have a goal, of course you expect the best, positive results. But it's wise to be down to earth, realistic, not too much optimistic to the point that you lose contact with reality. And illusions have
To do with.
an excess of fantasy or imagination. Imagination is a good thing, okay? But if the person is not down to earth enough, because many people have difficulties in dealing with reality and accepting reality, and those people are the ones more likely to refugee themselves in their fantasy, in their imagination, avoiding reality because they don't know how to deal well with reality. So they unconsciously avoid seeing things the way they are because in their imagination, everything is prettier, is much more pleasant. But eventually, they will have to face reality. And it's like a slap in their face because they cannot deny forever how things are. Well, the higher the expectations or the bigger the illusions, the greater the chance of disappointments, right? So the more you stay in contact with reality, being really down to earth, practical, realistic, then you diminish the chance of disappointments in your life, right? And when you have to deal with people, oh, something very common in relationships, especially close relationships, like family or love relationships. People believe that if you love me, you should treat me in a certain way. It's like an exchange. Many people behave in a way that they do things to other people expecting to receive things in return. And they can also be very demanding, like,
I do everything for you, so why can't you do just a little simple thing when I ask you to?
see, that kind of demand, in my opinion, this is just my opinion because this is my channel, so I give my opinion, right? In my opinion, that behavior, like demanding people to do things for them or to give things for them in return based on what they did before, expecting something. Um, this is not a healthy relationship, right? This is a bargain. But a bargain is like a business, right? You do your job in exchange
For.
for salary,
For a.
payment. That's fair, okay? But in a relationship, you cannot do things, good things to other people, expecting something in return. That's not pure generosity. That's really a bargain. And that's very common with emotionally needy people. Actually, energy vampires. Always giving, expecting something. And they think they have the right to demand things in return. They can also throw in your face.
I did that for you. I spent the best years of my life with you, and what do I get in return after all those years?
Very common in men in a divorce. But anyway, the thing is, the big mistake starts with that mentality that if you behave in a certain way, people will give you good things in return. And well, people have free will, right? Even you have free will. So what if they don't feel like giving you anything in return? It's the same right that you have. Or do you force yourself to be nice all the time to everyone you know, especially close people? Do you always obligate yourself to be nice, to be good, to be generous, even when you don't feel like? That's not healthy for your energy. I have another video in my channel about how you attract contrariety to your life. Every time you are against yourself to please others, then what kind of energy you think you are
vibrating at?
You are against yourself, contrariety. So what can you expect to attract to your life? People will be against you. Life will be against you. So in reality, to be very practical, it's not a good thing to please people against your will, expecting something in return, even if it is just to be approved or not.
Criticized.
So how to avoid disappointments? First, try not to have illusions with people. Open your eyes, observe how they are, who they really are, and don't expect anything different. If they change for the better, good. But you cannot expect people to change just to please you or to be more convenient to you, because people change only when they want to and if they want to. No one changes anyone. So if you know someone for some time, if it is someone you live with, you already know your client, right? So you know what to expect or not. And when they, let's say, fail with you, if you really know that person, that's not really a disappointment because they are just being themselves. They are being coherent with who they have
shown
previously, right? So no big surprise. So one thing is illusion. You managing your imagination, your fantasy, dealing with reality, accepting reality is important. Another thing is expectations. In your relationships, how to diminish your expectations, not to have disappointments or not so many or big disappointments. Well, let's consider, especially in your close relationships, let's be honest.
What are
The things that you expect the most from other people, from those people in your life? You expect support, attention, consideration, affection, love, maybe strength when you feel weak. You would expect them to understand you and support you. Well, why
is it?
so important for you to have those things from those people? Oh, because you think, for example,
My parents should give me that.
well, let me tell you that not every parent is a good parent. Not every parent is loving, caring, comprehensive, and supportive. You cannot expect something from someone
Who
didn't show they can provide that. The thing is, now going straight to the point as a therapist, the more you expect something from someone,
the less
you are not giving that same thing to yourself. That's why it's so important that other people give
that,
to you, like being responsible,
for,
emotionally feed you. And well, it's not their obligation, it's not their duty, it's your obligation to feed yourself, emotionally speaking, with all those things that you consider important, like attention, love, care, strength. So, how not to have expectations in order not to get
disappointed,
by other people. Actually, it's important to say that people never disappoint you. It's you that get disappointed because you had expectations or illusions. You are not a victim. There's no victim. If you put yourself in the position of a poor victim, then you are powerless and there's nothing you can do. So you are not a victim of other people. Actually, people only have the power that we give to them. And your power is yours. You can do whatever you want with it. You can give your power to
whoever you want,
or not. So you can choose. You can be aware in this video, hopefully, and choose not to give your power to other people to disappoint you. It's you that is getting disappointed because you had expectations or illusions. Okay? So, how not to have expectations with other people and like shield yourself from disappointments based on those expectations. Like I said, what is it that you want so much from other people? It's something that you are not giving to yourself. So try to treat yourself the way you would like other
people,
to treat you. Give yourself what you would like other people to give you: attention, care, love, strength, acceptance. It's important. Um, Comprehension. It's your duty to provide all those good things to yourself. And the more you give yourself those things, and you still don't know how, well, a good therapy can always be very helpful. So the more you work on your self improvement, and that has
to do,
with self-esteem, a good and healthy relationship with yourself. So the more you become emotionally independent,
the better,
your relationships will be, because you won't demand other people to give you what you are already giving you. See? You won't be annoying. You won't demand anything from other people. You won't be needy, and you won't be an energy vampire. So everybody wins, and you will be a better person, not only to yourself, but to other people you know, especially your close relationships, and you will be a healthy person, emotionally speaking. And people will like your company much more because you won't be demanding, you won't be needy, you will be emotionally mature.
I
Think it's worth the effort to get to that point. This is a different point of view. Every time you see someone demanding something from you, like attention or support, well, if they are needy somehow, it shows that they are not giving themselves what they are demanding other people to give them, right? It's the same with you. The more you want something from someone, the more you have like a void in yourself because you are not providing that same thing to yourself that you should be doing. In astrology, if the person has a challenging aspect between the moon and Pluto, That tells me that they have like an infinite famine of emotional food. It's like a black hole within them that no matter how much they receive from other people in terms of love, care, or attention, it's never enough because they have a black hole that is never filled up. And if they are not aware of their weakness, and they usually aren't, they will have the tendency to attract a lot of drama in their relationships, like people leaving them or people dying somehow, important people in their lives, especially women, because the moon is related to women in general, starting with the mother figure. So difficult relationships with women because they are so needy with that black hole within them that they demand too much. And other people can get tired or decide to leave or even disappear from their lives through physical death or whatever, a move to another city. The end of
A relationship.
can be very complicated, especially in a man's birth chart. Because when you need to learn something, when you have a challenge in this life that I can see in the birth chart, because before we are born, there is something that is done, what I call reincarnation programming. And there's another video in my channel about this. You come to this
World.
to this physical dimension with specific challenges and lessons to learn. And if you refuse to learn those lessons in order to overcome those challenges, you can run, but you cannot hide, right? That's basically the thing, because life will always bring what I call a magnifying mirror to force you see your weaknesses and deal with them and grow. So eventually you have to face your self-sabotage unconscious process and you have to deal with your emotional needs. So if you want your relationships to be healthy and if you want people
Two.
really like and enjoy your company, you have to be a really nice person, a pleasant person. And a demanding person is not like that. A critical person always wanting something in return for what they do for other people. Needy people are actually toxic. They are always criticizing and demanding attention or whatever. And they are basically negative, always unsatisfied and me too. Like,
I will give you something if you give me that same thing in return first. Otherwise, I won't be generous.
oh, that's so childish, right? But that's the thing. How to avoid disappointments? Manage your illusions, your mind, your fantasies, your imagination to at least diminish your illusions and manage your expectations. The more you fulfill yourself, emotionally speaking, the less you will demand other people to give you those same things, and the less demanding you will be. Your relationships will be better. People will thank you for not being annoying. They will enjoy your company much more. You will have a healthy energy instead of being an emotional vampire. And one last thing, I've been doing what I call a free brief birth chart reading. For those who subscribe on my website to online meetings, I don't know when in the future you are watching this video, but you can go to my website and I will leave the link in the description and see if on the
Home.
page there is a link
2.
that free brief birth chart reading. It's something that I like so much doing readings. This is something very specific that I do because I can look at a birth chart and see all the main challenges and lessons someone is here to learn, and also the main sabotaging subpersonalities. And there are other videos on my channel about sabotaging subs. And once I start a reading, I receive so much inspiration. And it's amazing because I always learn something. So I'm offering a brief birth chart reading, not a full reading because it takes me like 3, maybe 4 hours to do a full reading. But in a brief reading, I can go deep enough because there's no BS. I go straight to the point. The idea is to say the first thing that catches my attention in your birth chart. And it's important to say, I'm a therapist, not a fortune teller. So don't expect me to say, when you will finally meet your ideal partner. That's not what I do. You better find someone to say what you want to hear. So all you have to do is fill out a form, subscribe, give your birth date, birth time, the more accurate as possible, and birthplace. And wait for the email with information for the next online meeting. That's it for today. Thank you for watching and bye.